Do you guys think that architecture can ever have like a underground scene, like an underground scene?
I mean,
Underground scene.
In what sense?
Yeah, in the sense of like
Something that goes unnoticed?
not necessarily unnoticed, but I guess a situation where I guess new ideas or new ways of thinking that maybe people that maybe like the established firms haven't really been able to tap into yet.
sort of like a maverick.
Maybe
product.
down the line they tap into it once it rises up. But in the initial conception of like certain ideas, certain themes that are being created on, I guess, quote unquote, the ground level or the community level. Do you think that exists or that can exist for architecture?
Because it's like artistic in a sense, I feel like there's always going to be a pioneer, like a maverick, that can sort of path a new way. But yeah, again, I guess I don't really have that much to say. But
I agree. I don't think there would be like unless one of you boys are that maverick. I really think of a specific example, a specific type of architecture or field that's like, that's going to be the next big thing. But I do definitely think, especially where we are now, is in this exact room of lawn, or like we're currently in this room lawn where like I think James, you would be more versed in explaining what lawn is though.
But lawn is so impossible to explain.
it's unexplainable.
Lawn is run by David Green, who Khan mentioned Archigram earlier. Very important postmodern group in the UK. David Green was a member of that. And he runs this program, Lawn, which happens one lunchtime per week. And you just kind of show up. There'll be anything from people presenting interesting projects to just discussions to repurposing old models. So it's kind of just like it's anything goes type. It's just a discussion and
I think on that beat, the reason why I wanted to bring up lawn was because like where we are right now with so many people just like throwing stuff at the wall and then inspiring.
I'll send you some images.
Okay. And just seeing what sticks.
Yeah, it's just what pounds about. Like, so one thing could just inspire another person, and how did that something else comes out, and that causes sort of like evolution and like cycling through different things. It creates like this atmosphere where like everything's on hold.
I think the underground thing is kind of revolving around students and like and also there are quite a few programs who are like trying to include younger people or like community members into architectural thinking, but I think mainly the students are the acting voice and the force on the new movements or like new ideas in architecture. And
okay. So you guys are the underground. You guys are the
it is like a discussion space for other university students as well. We have quite a few other students from other universities coming here to discuss with us or like share a beer with us and have a talk, see what's going on, and show what they're doing in their education as well.
I think the word underground for me again. I'm just going to mention unnoticed is what I think of, something that's not really seen by like the architects or the and I think that this thing happens all the time where you have like a hegemony and a counter hegemony, and like there's a dominant idea and then a reaction to that. So I think that happens all the time. A really sort of strong example that's springing to mind is Jane Jacobs, who is an urban activist. Maybe Milan will come talk about it.
Yeah, so there's these two wonderful architects, Milan and Yuri.
How you doing?
The Jane Jacobs was basically a city planner wanted to build a huge highway through her neighborhood, and she protested. And a lot of like contemporary urban planning thinking stems from her writing, which came from her protesting, just as an extraordinary citizen. But I think that's one aspect of this underground nature. And then another thing I maybe want to quickly mention is looking into other disciplines. Because I said before, architecture is everything, and of course I'm biased. But there's
I like. You might need to trademark that. Architecture is everything. That has a ring to it. That has a ring. Yeah, I think I got goosebumps when you said it.
No, there's a book I read. Well, I didn't actually read the whole thing. I read a few chapters from this book, Nudge, by Richard Thaler, who's a macroeconomist, and he basically makes an argument that everything in our surroundings is constantly influencing how we behave and how we make decisions. And he says people who are in charge of an environment, he calls them choice architects because they are able to influence other people's decisions. So the first example he gives in the book is a cafeteria lunch lady who organizes where the food is put for the kids when they come for lunchtime. And he says that it doesn't make sense to do it randomly, because if you're trying to make a salad and the lettuce is over there and then the tomatoes over there, it wouldn't make any sense. So you want to group things together and you want some level of organization. But he says that that the lunch lady is a choice architect in her ability to influence the kids' decisions. So she can, I don't know if, I can't remember exactly, but he quotes some studies where they discuss like how people's choices are impacted by these small decisions. So that's a really, and something that I was interested in for a while. I think translates really into architecture more generally, of course. Also borrows the term architect. So there's lots of little things in other industries or professions which you can borrow and bring into architecture. And maybe it's not an underground scene, really, because it's not like Richard Thaler is incredibly well respected in this field. But just a novel idea, maybe. I mean, it's not so novel anymore, but those kind of things pulling from other disciplines is always worth looking at.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm definitely gonna check out his book.
Yeah, it's super.
What did you say the book was called?
It's called Nudge.
Nudge. Okay.
Nudge, just like nudge someone. Yeah.
Okay. So you're nudging. You're nudging society.
Yeah.
You're waking society up to a new way of living, or new perspective.
For sure.
Yeah. I like that though. Architecture is everything. I like it. There's a. Do you guys know OMA? Yeah. They're a prime example of what you were saying about just tapping into other disciplines.
Yeah.
Because they do that too with AMO, their research studio.
Yeah.
And that's where they've done like runway shows. Like they've designed the sets of like the Prada runway show. Yeah. They've built a world for those shows. So they've done a lot of different things, and they worked with who did they work with? So they worked with Kanye early on as well, actually, because they did there was like a 7-screen pavilion that they built for him for the Cruel Summer album, the compilation album. I think that was like 2012. So there was a movie that was being made for that at Cannes Film Festival. And OMA were basically behind building that 7-screen pavilion where the film was being premiered. So like they're super like forward thinking and they already understand the importance of tapping into other spaces and incorporating architecture within it. So they're super. I think they might be ahead of their time even.
They might be underground.
I was gonna say a nice example.
Maybe AMO is their underground vehicle. You know, even though AMO is huge, but.
I was just going to mention a nice example, maybe to link to our school. OMA, one of the members, Rem Koolhaas, studied and taught here. And he taught Zaha Hadid. And I think it was Zaha's master's thesis, which she worked on. Yeah, which she worked on with Rem Koolhaas, was taking reinterpreting Malevich's suprematist paintings, which are very tectonic and spatial in how they sort of laid out, and interpreting those as space and buildings, and which at the time was, I think it's maybe been rehashed quite a lot now, but at the time was pretty, pretty radical, I guess. And then they went on to start, OMA, but it's. Yeah, from the get-go, I guess, they were drawing from loads of things from outside architecture. Rem, I think, was even he was a journalist before he became an architect. Yeah.